It was quite challenging times because as a young man, you always look for a father figure or look for a mother figure. So from that perspective, it was really challenging. Most of the stuff you learn from the streets because there's no formula to life. Your success story is tailored to you and God tailored it for you. But for you to be able to access that, you need to have certain principles. You have to have discipline, you have to have the vision, and you need dedication. You used to be God is a God of deeds, so you can't pray for a miracle and then you're not doing anything. You can't pray for a job but you're not applying every day. So
it's not a replacement for work.
Exactly.
So hi guys, welcome to the 4th episode of my victory story. Joining me today, I introduce you to Keke. He is an account manager in one of the biggest IT companies in South Africa. He is going to tell us his story about how he overcame family cases. I hope you will be inspired by his story and you're excited to learn more.
Thank you for having me, Melly. It's been a wonderful pleasure knowing you in this period.
Yeah.
And quite excited about this, and it's gonna inspire a lot of people. I think as Black people, we need more of this for this country. So yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm looking forward to your story. I don't really know the whole story. You just told me the highlight of your story, and I was inspired already. So I can imagine what's going to happen now when we're going to hear the whole story. So you can start by telling us who you are, where you're coming from, and build your story from there.
I think quite a simple guy. I came from the Free State, in a place called Helbron. Very unknown place. But yeah, it's quite a small place. My family, it's a very large family. I have both parents that are remarried. So it's quite interesting. So you have, for my mother's side, I have two siblings from there. And for my father's side, I have two siblings from there. So I've always had a very large family from both sides. And I think it was humbling times, I think, to begin with from the Free State. I mean, we used to live in a shack, I remember, at some stage, and then, progressed to an RDP. And then from there, stayed with a couple of family members. So I've always been independent, actually, now when I look back.
From what age?
I would say, I don't know, from a very young age. I think me and my cousin grew up together, maybe in creche or so. And then from there, he decided to go, I think he went to some horse school somewhere in the Free State as well. So that's where we split. And then from there, I think that's where my independence came from.
Okay.
So grew up mostly, I think I went to boarding school at a stage in the Val. And then prior to that, it was just a whole mix up of having not to understand why your parents are not together. You visit them, you visit the other one. So it was quite challenging times because as a young man, you always look for a father figure or look for a mother figure. So from that perspective, it was really challenging. Most of the stuff you learn from the streets because I used to be that black sheep that always, didn't focus necessarily in high school or whatever. And so from that perspective, I don't know what you want to know more into. I can go in there's many phases in my life, so I can always refocus a specific phase. But in a nutshell, it was a very hard background because, like I said, you see other kids with their parents and you are sort of visiting your parents there and there, and having to come from a place where you learn everything in Sotho. Then I got transferred to a school where they speak English the whole time. You get taught in English. So I used to get very bad marks, 8 out of 100 for English. I don't even remember that. So it was quite challenging times. But I think the victory in my struggle is that my mindset has always been, I felt like I was destined for success, but I didn't know at the time how am I going to get to this place. But I just knew that if I align my mindset right, if I always focus on the positives than the negatives, I will always get the results that I want to achieve. Great.
So how did you get to corporate?
It's a very weird story how I got to corporate, because my very first company that I went to was not even corporate. It was a very small company. It was a black female owned company. Not black female, I'm lying. It was actually white lady. And I was like, I dressed up for the interview, got my hair cut, everything. And I went, there's a place, it's on Monument Road. So Monument Road is a very long street. So the numbering is very bad. So I went to the same number at another Monument Road. And then they told me, no, this is the wrong one. You actually have to go all the way down. So I actually walked from there to the interview place, and I was like an hour late. And that lady, I told her, like, listen, I was so prepared for this. I woke up at this time, and then she gave me the time and day. And then from there, like, I think that's where my journey started in terms of my career. And then from there, I just progressed. How I got to corporate, sorry, to answer your question, I think it progressed from there. I worked for a medium-sized firm, and then from there, I worked for a company in Fourways, which I was dealing with corporate clients, but I wasn't in corporate.
Okay.
And then from there, then, you know, the current company that I work for reached out, and I've been there ever since for like 5 years now, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did you like obtain any qualification? Or?
Funny story is no. I went through a formal institution. I think I was in Naval University, and I got my dad, I think, helped me with the bursary like incentive for about a year or so. And then from there, obviously, I couldn't continue due to lack of funds. So I just decided there, I made a conscious decision to say, although I might not have a formal education, I will push harder than a person who actually has a formal education. So that's why that drove my hard work and my passion to succeed. And yeah, so that I don't have a formal education, but now I have like a lot of certifications. Okay. I've done online certifications.
But and so forth. It's a victory story, because you somehow managed to access corporate without a qualification. Yeah. So it was a matter of securing what you already got. Yeah. And that's, I think, like you were saying, you always knew that you were destined for success. Yeah. So there is power in that. For me, I'm actually learning from it that you sometimes, no matter how the circumstances look like, or no matter what you're going through, you have to stick to what you know. Yeah. Every one of us has that voice that always tell you, or you have this vision, you have this picture of yourself, of where you want to see yourself, you know, being. And I sit down and I imagine myself doing certain things. Yeah. So I'm sure you can want to encourage someone out there to say, if you can have that picture, or if you can know that you are destined for success, it means you will be destined for success.
Oh, definitely.
For success. It's just a matter of following that voice, you know, and moving with God.
Yeah, so no, most importantly, God. God, most importantly, not forgetting that. Because through my journey, I've always been a praying person. And I think in these times, to be a Christian, you looked at you crazy, but God has always been constant, you know, so God has always been constant, but God is a God of deeds, so you can't pray for a miracle and then you're not doing anything. You can't pray for a job, but you're not applying every day. So
it's not a replacement for work.
Exactly.
So how did you establish a relationship with God?
I think, funny enough, I've always been in tune with God. I think coming from a very traditional family, you know, they believe in, you know, the traditional stuff, you Hlabelabadimu and all of that. And I've always been distant from that, because I grew up from, you know, being exposed to a lot, you know, and I found God through the streets, funny enough, because like I would be going out all the time, and then you meet up with people. God always sends people in your space. God cannot speak through you, through like a cat or through whatever. He can't open the clouds and speak to you. So he always sends people along your way. So I think at the time I met a very special lady, and then she told me, no, you know, she told me she goes to church every time and so forth. And I was like, this person is lying. So how I actually went to church is I wanted to prove this person wrong, that she's lying, that she's going to church.
And that was your appointment with God.
And then that was my appointment with God. And then from there, I ended up going to church almost all the time. And then I never left ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so amazing. So in closing, what can you say to someone who's currently in the same situation as you, or coming from the same background as you, and currently going through what you went through, and they just want that inspiration to keep going? What can you say to them?
I think the biggest thing for me to say is that there's no formula to life. Your success story is tailored to you, and God tailored it for you. But for you to be able to access that, you need to have certain principles. You have to have discipline, you have to have the vision, and you need dedication. I think those three things are important, because ultimately we have friends, we have mentors. Some of us have mentors, some of us, everyone will come to you with different ideas. But if you lack focus and lack determination and lack the drive to actually achieve, you'll always be strayed by everyone. You will always do everything and everything. You have to tailor your life according to what you want to see. So I think that my biggest thing is focus. I mean, if it means that you need to leave certain friends in order to achieve your goal, then do that. If it means that you need to align your life and not going out and striving yourself to ensure that you invest your time in the right material, then do that. There's online courses. You can stop drinking for five weeks, you know, and invest that money in your cause. So like, it's just about the way you move and how you want to achieve whatever you want to achieve. So
wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. Keke actually has a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And please, what's your YouTube channel? You can tell them your handle.
I will tag my handle.
Okay.
Now my brain just went blank.
Okay, it's fine. So we'll put the handles at the end of the video, and please go to his YouTube channel and subscribe and learn so much. Don't you want to tell the people what your YouTube channel is going to be about?
My YouTube channel is just going to be first of all God, inspiration stuff there, and then it's going to be about gaming. It's going to be about business as well. Some business content there, and just like life in general. So
thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're inspired by the story, and I hope you wrote down the notes. I literally took notes. I'm gonna start working on being focused and disciplined, because I felt like you were talking to me. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and share and comment below. Thank you guys.
Thanks.